The Australian Deputy Prime Minister is currently on Sri Lanka on a brief official visit. And what's on the agenda during his stay? A very good morning and welcome. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, we're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. And as always, we have an interesting lineup of news both from here at home and around the world, including an update on the Therunee shooting incident, Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Thennakone's case, and the latest with regards to the Russia-Ukraine peace talks that are currently underway in Turkey, and so much more. Do stay tuned with us right throughout for the news in detail. Let's start off with news here at home. A 15-member delegation led by Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defence Richard Marles arrived in Sri Lanka last night. The delegation landed at the Karunaratne International Airport at around 11:40 p.m. on a special aircraft ASY 307 operated by the Australian Ministry of Defence. Richard Marles was welcomed by Deputy Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs, Attorney at Law Sunil Vattagala. During the visit, the Australian Deputy Prime Minister is scheduled to meet with Sri Lankan President Anurukumara Dissanayake and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, Vijitha Herath. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya is expected to attend a special luncheon at the Australian House in honour of the visiting Deputy Prime Minister. Richard Marles will also hold bilateral talks with Deputy Minister of Defence of Sri Lanka, Aruna Jayasekara. According to a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, the visit aims to strengthen the bilateral relations and enhance cooperation in the defence sector between the two countries. Richard Marles is scheduled to depart for India tonight after concluding his visit in Sri Lanka. Let's move on to more local news this morning. Two more suspects have been arrested in connection with the shooting incident involving Therunee jeep. The arrests were made yesterday by the Colombo South Crimes Investigation Division. The suspects, aged 27 and 37, were apprehended in Kadavatha and Ganemulla. Police have recovered an ammunition magazine containing 13 live T56 rounds and 10 grams of the drug ice or crystal methamphetamine in the possession of these suspects. They are scheduled to be produced before the Alut Khade Magistrates Court today. Further investigations are being carried out by the Colombo South Crimes Investigation Division. Meanwhile, Deshabandhu Thennakone is scheduled to appear today before the committee appointed to investigate the alleged misuse of powers by the IGP. This committee, which is chaired by Supreme Court Justice Preeti Padman Surasena, will convene at 2 p.m. today. IGP Thennakone has previously appeared before this committee on the 19th and 28th of last month, that is May. Affidavits related to the evidence submitted by the Attorney General's Department concerning these allegations are also expected to be submitted to the committee today. We also have an update coming in regarding the tourism sector of Sri Lanka, something that many of us have been keeping an eye on and keeping tabs on every single month as well. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says more than 132,000 tourists visited Sri Lanka in the month of May, bringing the total number of tourist arrivals in the first 5 months of the year to 1,029,803. The exact number of tourist arrivals in May was 132,919. India accounted for the highest number of visitors during the month, with 47,001 tourists. The United Kingdom followed with 9,221 tourists, while 8,803 tourists arrived from China. Sri Lanka also received 7,282 tourists from Bangladesh, 7,223 from Germany, and 5,929 from Australia in the month of May. Meanwhile, the draft amendment to the Personal Data Protection Act is scheduled to be debated in Parliament today. The Parliament is set to convene at 9:30 a.m. for this purpose under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne. With that, let's move on to the weather forecast for today. The Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the afternoon or night. Fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. With that, we move on to news overseas for this morning. We have two international news items coming up. The first being the very latest with regards to the Russia-Ukraine peace talks that are underway in Turkey. And the second, let's get into it in just about a bit. So the second round of direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine have ended without a major breakthrough and only a deal to swap more prisoners of war. Ukrainian negotiators said Russia had again rejected an unconditional ceasefire, a key demand by Kyiv and its allies in Europe and the US. But the two committed to return the bodies of 12,000 soldiers. The Russian team said it had proposed a 2- or 3-day truce in certain areas of the vast front line, but gave no further details. And at Monday's talks, which were held in the Turkish city of Istanbul and lasted just over an hour, the two sides did agree to exchange all sick and heavily wounded prisoners of war, as well as those aged under 25. Expectations were low even before the talks started, with both sides remaining deeply divided on how to end a war that has been raging since Russia launched its full-scale invasion on Ukraine in February 2022. Moscow currently controls about 20% of the Ukrainian territory, including the southern Crimean Peninsula it annexed in 2014. Speaking at a briefing after this meeting, Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, who led Kyiv's negotiating team, said Ukraine was insisting on a full and unconditional ceasefire for at least 30 days on land, at sea and in the air to quote-unquote end the killings now. He said Ukraine had handed over its truce proposals to Russia a few days ago, but Moscow failed to do the same, presenting its plan only at the talks that were held in Istanbul. The text of both the Russian and Ukrainian ceasefire proposals have not yet officially been made public. Allow me to shift your attention all the way to Italy now. This is a headline-making international news item. Italian authorities say that a massive eruption at Mount Etna forced tourists to flee the volcano on Monday after a plume of high-temperature gases, ash and rock, several kilometers high, billowed into the air above them. All tourists and trekkers on the volcano, when it erupted, have been evacuated safely, according to the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology Observatory. The observatory said that the eruption petered out late evening local time, adding that all 3 lava flows are now cooling. The volcano on the Italian island is a popular tourist destination that is visited by 1.5 million tourists each year, many of whom trek almost all the way to the volcano's summit. Although Mount Etna is one of the world's most active volcanoes, there hasn't been an eruption of this magnitude since 2014, according to the observatory. These eruptions often stop as quickly as they start, though explosions are still increasing in intensity, and the mountain is spewing out a very small amount of lava and fire. And with that, we bring to a close this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. All you've got to do is join us tomorrow morning as well, same time, same place, right here on TV1 at 7 a.m. for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Thank you for joining us this morning. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.